we just saw a butt whooping.
Boom. Let's go.
I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team looked good all around. I mean, 34-7 Chargers victory at the Hall of Fame game. I will also say history, if it repeats itself. Last time the Chargers in the Hall of Fame game, guess what? They went to the Super Bowl that year. So let's hope
boy, here we go.
Happens, boys. And we got the Navy's back. I had to throw my Harbaugh jersey on today.
See, and I got my Gates on.
Let's go.
That was a pretty amazing game. And guys, all the way, Kyle would be on here, but he was just live the entire time. So I think he's a little bit talked out, guys. So as you guys know, he was, James and I were just sitting at the house, had a little barbecue at the house, had a few people over. So it was a lot of fun, guys. Plenty to talk about this game. Ass whooping. That's what it was, dude. It was domination from beginning to end, dude. We kept our pimp hands strong, dude. Just bow, bow, bow. I mean, they looked stupid, dude. I was like, man, I was impressed. Anyways, we'll talk more about it. Plenty to talk about.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Bo Bros, let's go.
What's up, Pyramid, man? You watching the Bo Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Shout out blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Bo Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic Supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Bo Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bullets in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
Okay. Well, I will say this, James, you and I mean, let's just say this right out of the gate. Trey Lance did not look good during the preseason or in training camp.
Yep.
In camp, but he looked pretty dang good in this game. So, hey, like I said, it's one of those things where you never quite know how someone's going to play until you get them out on the field, and he looked great today.
Yeah, big thing that we observed a lot in camp is he's sailing the ball high quite a bit. And he just did not seem to be very accurate. This one, guess what? He looked really good in game. Probably one of his better looking games that he's pretty much had in a very long period of time. Think about the last time he played a game was against the Chargers when he was with Dallas. Yeah. And what did he end up doing? I think he threw 5 picks, 4 touchdowns, ton of yards, but just was making mistakes left and right. I mean, technically, you really only had maybe one play that was kind of a bad throw, but he looked more like a quarterback in this one. And we'll talk a little bit more about it with some slides and everything too. You want to just jump into some of these stats and we can talk further about that?
Yeah, so this is the NFL, as you call an ass whooping. I tell you what, I mean, now, again, it's preseason, folks, right? At the end of the day, you know that. I know that. But, man, dude, like, amazing. Look, my biggest takeaway, 100%, and guys, whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comments below as well, too. I wanted to see depth on this team, right? Do we have people that could step up if our ones go out, right? And, the Detroit Lions, they talked about how like they were like led the league in people on the IR or whatever.
Yeah. How
many people do we have when we lose 3 or 4 guys? Are we just going to implode? And I saw a lot of depth, man. I feel like, the rookies played well. They played with heart, but it just goes to show you when you finally have adults in the room and are coached correctly, life is good, and competition at every position, 100%. Hey,
big time.
Competition at every position. Hey, that's a rhyme. I like that. Good job.
I mean, you got to look at it like this. Remember last year when we had a lot of issues in the safety position? You went Eddie Jackson, you went Marcus May, you went all these guys that you just took off the street essentially and threw them in there. Now what the Chargers are doing they're building a nice depth all around with a lot of talent everywhere. And that's the thing. I will say a little bit about this game. I think the Chargers kind of had a little bit of a leg up because they've been in camp a week longer than the Lions. Yeah. So I think they were a little bit more, drooling. They were just ready. They were foaming at the mouth, ready for this game. And I think Chargers just looked like a much more refined team all around this one. So I think it was really, really good looking game for this team. Now, I do think, going back to your point about the talent pool with this team, I think it might have been Matt Money Smith that did a prediction about preseason. We asked him about regular season. He still gave us the same answer from 2024.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
But for preseason, he did give a prediction. He's like, this team could easily go like a 3-1 type situation just for the amount of talent that's on this team. I mean, when you have a preseason where you're actually winning a lot of games in there, it generally says that you have a very good depth all around for your team too. So now I could even also say, caveat, Raiders have gone a lot of times where they've gone undefeated in the preseason, and they end up stinking it up when the season really happens. So but either way, it's good to get wins. It's good to see depth.
Depth is really what I cared about at the end of the day. And again, it's nice. 261 total yards. We ran the ball well. Zion Johnson looked okay as center. I was a little bit nervous about him in general, but he looked okay. But look, I even the rookie, even the guy that we signed from the UFL was out there. Nasty Nelson, we talked about. He was getting out there.
Ryan Nelson.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I was just, man, I was impressed with everybody. I was like, man, that guy's good too. That guy's good too. I mean, I'm just exciting. So, so let's just look at the yardage total, right? So 261 total yards. Again, the 5 takeaways is a big part of the stats here. And again, 190. I mean, look, if we can do that in the NFL every week, guys, we'll just hand over the Lombardi trophy, right? That's pretty amazing. Passing yards, 104 for them, 140 passing yards. And I think we wanted to run the ball a lot. We really wanted to see what the offensive line could do. Rushing yards, 121 yards rushing. I thought was really cool. We'll look at the rushing numbers here in a second. But they had 93, but they were rushing the ball a lot. I think after they threw 3 picks, something like that.
Yep.
4.4 yards per play, 16 first downs, third down efficiency was pretty good. You could definitely improve on that for sure.
Big time.
Fourth down efficiency, was good, but a few extra plays, 1 sack allowed, which kind of surprised me. I expected more than that. I mean, did you expect more than that? I don't know. Like I thought we'd give up a lot more than that, but man, they look good.
Well, I mean, first line for this team was pretty good. It was actually it was going from left to right. It was Pipkins on the left tackle, Barnhart as the left guard, Zion as the center, Sawyer as the right guard, and Stewart as the right tackle. So there was actually a pretty good line there. Now, I was kind of a little shocked to be able to see Stewart on the right guard, and I kind of didn't really see a whole heck of a lot from him for the most part in training camp. I mean, you don't want to hear a whole heck of a lot about whoever's on the O-line, but I think they did a pretty good job. I mean, for a second line, Corey Stewart did a good job on right tackle.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing in conversation with some fans during the game is Bozeman really the starter? Because he didn't play this one, obviously. They weren't going to play the starters at this point. Is Zion just trying to show some tape of him being out there? And he only had 2 drives out there, too. And he didn't do bad, but we'll talk a little bit more about that here shortly in the screens or the slides.
In the slides, yeah. Well, and let's talk about the real elephant in the room. 2 fumbles lost for the Lions, which I thought were good plays, right? I mean, we were punching at the ball and doing what we need to do, and the interceptions were great, guys.
Yeah,
man, I was just shocked. I was like, what in the hell is going on here? Your time possession was great. We were efficient. I mean, look, we all know this, guys. Preseason, nobody cares. But here's the thing. It is good to see these guys. It just shows culture, shows winning.
Yep.
Good. That's what you want to see, right? So it's pretty exciting right now. So let's look at some the individual stats. Trey Lance, he looked good. I mean, I would be interesting to see what his actual rating was with this numbers here. I'm sure it'd be pretty good.
QB
rating.
His rating was 114.6. That's pretty dang good.
Whoa, that's great. Okay, good. I was going to say, I wish it would add that on here. That's interesting. But look at the running backs, guys, dude. And by the way, Nyheim Hines has been with the team 2 weeks. I did a video.
34 yards.
Yeah, good. He looked great. And again, special teams and Kimani Vidal, dude. Guys, it's going to be really interesting to see what this running back room looks like because I don't know. I mean, I'm very and Hassan Haskins looks like do you see that run? He trucked that one dude.
Very physical runs, which you gotta love to see. And the thing about it is, and when I was watching Hassan Haskins do his runs, and now a lot of them were kind of a little bit later in the game. There's a little bit more four stringer type guys and everything too. But he was a man among men, or a man among children, if you want to say. Let me say it that way.
Man was just babies.
Man among babies at that point, and he was just trucking dudes. And like the competition in that room is huge right now. I really would love to be able to see Raheem Sanders. We'll probably see him more next week, but I believe Hassan Haskins knows that, hey, I got to make a statement in my run. When I have an opportunity, I got to make a statement when I run. I got to make an impact when I'm on special teams. And I think he's doing that well, and he's just got to find a way to solidify his job. And he's a good special teams guy on top of that, and good depth for the running back game. So,
and KLS guys, dude,
great.
I mean, he's looked amazing. Oop, hit the wrong button.
I
there.
Like it. I like what he KLS.
He looked amazing. Yeah, Tucker Fisk, obviously. Again, he's a blocking guy, 19 yards average. Of course, was one run reception. Jared Patterson, more of a special teams guy as well too. But Will Dissey looked good as well too. Brendan Rice, I thought was great. I completely missed him catching a ball.
Good slant catch, and it was like a nice throw from DJ. I mean, it was a really, really nice throw.
Yeah, that looked pretty good.
He's very much buried on the depth chart. That wide receiver depth chart just got really, really hard for anybody at this point. Like very, very hard for any player to make this team. Now, Delvion Campbell's a guy that we talked a lot about in camp that was making plays, and he still got a catch out there, still made things happen. Jalen Johnson's another guy who we saw quite a bit from too. Good to see Gadsden get a catch out there too. Like Jaquay Jackson was even out there. He didn't get a catch, but I know he was out there running around. Trey Harris, I think, only got one thrown his way, which was kind of that corner route in the end zone. Ball was way off at that point. That was kind of a bad throw by Trey.
Yeah, Trey needs to get that finesse down a little more. Jaquay, I think he had pass interference, didn't he? Was it? No, it wasn't him. It was it was the other guy. Anyways, it's Delvion Campbell. I think that's who it was. And by the way, again, we signed this guy 3 weeks ago, right? So I'm just saying, look, like one of the things I have to bring up. And guys, this is exactly. I'll tell you right now, we have one of the best GMs in the NFL right now, and I'm instantly reminded that they're constantly trying to go out and get new talent. Okay, Jaquay Jackson we just signed, Delvion Campbell we just signed, this guy Nyheim Hines we just signed, and look at that, he went out and just balled out, and competitors welcome, folks, and I'll just say this, like Ron Tabasco. Our old GM just was a turd in the punch bowl. He didn't do anything. He was water cooler guy, as you like to call him. Hey, these are our guys. We'll just roll with them. No, keep trying to get more players. So, anyways, I just kind of want to bring that up.
Well, even to say this too. I mean, we're finally going to go into the regular 3 games of preseason here shortly. This was like an extra bonus game for us at this point. Understand what we did last season, and we ended up signing people later on in camp too. So. The beautiful thing about Chef Ortiz, which was actually pretty funny, there was a guy at camp rocking a Chef Ortiz jersey, by the way. I mean, a GM jersey, that's a first time I think I've seen something like that.
It's pretty funny.
He's going to keep going out there finding talent. And know this team is probably about 97% complete at this point. Now, where are they going to find the faults? That's what they're going to figure out here. And Imani Johnson, I kept seeing his name a little bit out there, and he was making plays. I mean,
dude, so we scooped him up, I think, last year off waivers during the season. He was a practice squad guy. Guys, I'm just saying. Look, the one thing I will say too, though, this is where Jesse Minter's defense is really simple, really easy to manage. It's very easy for people to come in and just contribute easily. And it's good to see Junior Colson out there. Jamari Caldwell, look at this. The Rook. Big 9'9". He's big out there, dude. When I was like, damn, who's that guy?
Yeah, Fridge. I'm going to call him Fridge from now on, dude. That dude was just straight up a load out there, dude.
Yeah, he's huge. So, lunchroom, whatever we want to call him, anyways. But he's big. Dean Leonard, Kendall Williamson. He's the guy that punched the ball out. RJ Mickens look good, guys.
And I will say about Kendall Williamson, he did obviously the first play of the game from the kickoff. Punched that ball out, got that, recovered it too.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in the game too, he also made solid run support too with RJ Mickens. He's attacking the line, and you gotta love to see guys like that are cornerback safeties going out there making things happen. There was also, I believe, one other play that he also made, kind of another solid play all around too. Like, the guy was active. He made a play on special teams. He made a play basically on defense too. That's what you want to see. High effort guys that are going out there and making things happen. And I really felt like this defense was playing with a lot of energy, and they were popping people. Like, even Triquez Bridges was out there hitting people, which was great to see. And I didn't feel like Triquez was the best tackler. Man, they were popping pads right now, boys. Let's go.
Yeah. Nico Reed looked good too, guys. I mean, I could just go up and down this. Everyone looked good. Okay. Funny story about Myles Purchase. At Iowa State, they had bacon is a big product out there. So they had a bacon campaign. There's 3 guys on Iowa State. It was Purchase, last name, Moore, Bacon. And so that was their marketing campaign to sell more bacon. It was pretty hilarious. I was like, that's pretty good stuff. So what
did he get paid on that NIL deal? Or did you just get
who knows?
25 cents a pack of bacon getting sold.
Yeah. It was pretty hilarious. I was like, anyway, I'm just saying, like, look, we played aggressive.
Love it.
Oh,
I love seeing that. I mean, these games don't really matter, but at the same side, I love how Harbaugh talked about to the players before this game. There's a lot of people watching this game, and this game matters a lot. And he even talked about when he was a player, he loved to be in these games, and he loved to play in these preseason games. But big butt whooping, a preseason butt whooping per Emilio in the chat. Absolutely. I love to see it.
That's what it was. Okay. It was Purchase more ham and bacon. Okay.
Ham and bacon.
I thought it was 3. So thank you for correcting me on that, LOD. That's interesting. Yeah.
Is Hammond the same company as the chocolate bar company? Remember how our dad was sitting there buying a bunch of like candy bars? He was just grabbing them. Wasn't that brand name Hammond, I believe. So correct me if I'm wrong on that, LOD. But they're good chocolate bars, by the way. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. But Nico Reed, guys, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I would suspect a lot of teams will scoop up some of these players, especially after a game like that. I mean, that was an ass whoop. But again, it's preseason. We all know that. But look, it's all about finding your depth. It's all about finding, some of your future players and such. And so, it's exciting to see. So,
love it. Let's bring up some of these slides. So, cool picture here. Obviously Antonio Gates. It was cool to be able to see his interview that he had earlier this morning with Pat McAfee show too, and just reflecting about his basketball career. A lot of guys that were here at the Hall of Fame game were a lot of basketball players that he used to play with. He didn't play too far away from Canton pretty much, which ironically he ends his official full career as a Hall of Famer. And cool stat too, he's the first player to basically go from basketball, 0 snaps as a football player in college and to become a Hall of Fame player. So congrats to Antonio Gates, 8'5". My goodness. I mean, I could go on so many different memories of Antonio Gates and what he's been able to do. The guy was an absolute beast, legend, NFL tight end leader in touchdowns. I mean, well deserved and should have been first ballot Hall of Famer.
100%. Yeah, 85 guys. 85 in the chat. That's me. Gates. 85's in the chat, man. I'm telling you, look, Gates was incredible. He changed the tight end position in general, right? I mean, it was just amazing. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, talk about Luke Grimm as well too. LOD. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he can get on the field. What about Raheem Sanders? That's another guy. So. It's going to be interesting, man. I'm excited, but again, can't take anything. Gates is just so excited to see him get his flowers, get in that jacket. It's exciting. So
it's great to see Dean Spanos right there with him too, and everything too. So it's great to be able to see him there. I mean, one of the best undrafted free agents you could ever see. And who's going to be the next guy? Nico Reed might be that guy. We'll see. But love to see it. Antonio Gates, once again. Congratulations. Amazing to see. But you know what? I want to say one thing about the uniforms. The white with the baby blue numbers with the, powder blue numbers and powder blue pants.
Yeah.
It looks perfect, dude.
Yeah.
I love this jersey. This jersey combo looks absolutely perfect, in my opinion.
I agree.
Very clean, very just smooth. You're digging into that powder blue look. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't know that I would love it, and I watched it out there and I was like, man, that looks really good. And I think, you know why I think it does? It's because the helmet is white.
Yep.
I didn't like there was a helmet that was white and then it was blue and then white pants or yellow pants. I feel like, make it a little more even. I just think that's a great color combination, man.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
Yeah, retire the yellows, please.
Well, electric shock. Guess what? You're getting an all yellow here. Pretty soon.
Exactly.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Not a huge fan of that just yet, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks on the field. It just kind of reminds me of the Savannah Bananas or something like that. But we'll see what happens. So we'll see how it goes.
But love to see it, and even in the chat, I think is reeling them in. I think or reel them in or whatever it is. He said something, hey, the whole team looked connected, and I fully feel that way. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody was very, very just connected as a team. They were attacking. They knew their assignments. I did not feel like there was a lot of confusion at all in this team. And I go back to what I talked about earlier in the podcast. I feel like the thing is, we had about a week up on starting our camp versus the Lions too. So I think there was
they had the same time. Same time.
Lions were a week later. The rookies.
No, I don't know about that.
100%.
No,
100%. Because I remember looking at that, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It was a week later that they basically came over into camp. Maybe it was 5 days. I'll give it 5 days. How about that? But that was a big difference of what happened in the camp. So, but yeah, I love what we saw here with this team. It was really, really awesome to see all around for this team. So, and the Lions reported on July 19th. Rookies came on July 16th.
Yeah. So Detroit Lions Saturday, July 26th. And their open practices. Yeah. So I guess it was a few days earlier. Yeah. Interesting. Yep. Veterans July 16th. Yeah. So it's interesting. I wonder why they got permission to do that. That seems a little strange to me.
Well, I remember chatting with the security guard for the Chargers about that. And they were saying I was like, is it something that Harbaugh wanted? Is that just Harbaugh just wanting to get back to work or whatnot? And he's like, it probably could have been that. It probably could have just totally been that they just wanted to basically be there a little bit earlier. So,
wow. Well, that's good. And guys, people want to be there, right? And, even think about someone like, Trey Lance. Trey Lance knew he needed to go to a team that could have potentially make him look good.
Yep.
Right. And so he showed up, man. He looked good, and he looked great. So,
and to the point,
man, that's a good looking uniform.
Golly,
the more I look at that, I'm just like blown away.
That's going to be the Super Bowl wearing uniform combo this year. Let's get it. I'm down for that. But hey, to your point, Trey Lance looked good. He looked 1,000 times better than we saw in training camp. He wasn't sailing the ball. He was very sure. One play that they pointed out too is there was a point where he was scattering around trying to make a play. He could have easily ran the ball, but I think the Chargers really just said, hey, look, you need to be a guy who throws the ball and not rely all the 100% on your legs. And regardless, he did not make a completion on that, but that's a very good step for Trey Lance to say, hey, look, rely on my arm. I don't need to rely on my legs. Don't be that run first guy. Throw the ball and basically just don't put your body on the line. And I think that Trey Lance is taking a very good leap so far. DJ Uyunglele, I think is his actual name, had very, very small amount of time in this one too, which is very tough for a fourth quarterback now. So that third position for this quarterback position or job is going to get very, very tight. So DJ has to find a way to get on the field and play a lot more time all around. So.
Well, you also might see Trey Lance getting moved off, right? Some team might say, "Hey, we want him, and we'll give you a pick." Look, there's 32 teams. Not all 32 teams have a good backup, right? They might have their preseason and go, "Oh my God, we got hot garbage behind our starting quarterback." You know what I mean? So we got to figure it out. And so they might say, "Well, Trey looked good for the Chargers. Maybe we can do the same with him over." You know what I mean? It is what it is, right? And that's why you have these preseason games for an opportunity for these guys to get looks. And look, Kimani Vidal looked great this game. All of our running backs look good this game. And so not everyone can make the team. We got 90 players out there, folks. So, it's going to be interesting.
But I do think that, and I know at this point, I mean, I don't know if it's a quarterback 2 controversy with Trey Lance and Taylor Henneke, but it is kind of an interesting thing to think about. I will say, as a Chargers fan, watch to see what's happening with the Saints. To me, if they're going to trade to anybody, they're going to trade Trey Lance to the Saints, because who the heck is their quarterback over there, dude? I have no idea.
It's a mess.
No idea.
It's a mess. Yeah.
It's a mess over there. Kellen Moore and, BS is over there. We'll see what happens there.
I love that name for him, dude. BS, a.k.a. We don't talk about that guy. The name should never be named or said.
Got to give Trey Lance his flowers. He did good. He did good, man.
He did good. And again, we were critical, folks, right? Let's give credit where credit's due. We did not see this at camp, but again, we were there 3 days and we watched every rep on him, and I was like, man, he's looking pretty weak right now. So
pretty weak.
So anyways, it's exciting to see. So yeah.
So to go to the O-line, this was the starting O-line. So like I said earlier in the podcast, it was a interesting little lineup there, but it was a lineup that was necessary. Pipkins as the left tackle, Barnhart as the left guard, Zion as the center, Sawyer as the right guard, and Stewart as the right tackle. And I'd like to be able to hear from you in the chat. What did you see from Zion? Because obviously that's the guy everybody's going to put their eyes on. He did have a botched snap too in the game. We saw that in preseason in camp on Monday too. We obviously can't have that in a real game situation. So he's learning this job right now. He even said in an interview, last time I played center was in the Senior Bowl. It's been a while for me. Even the Lions had a guard that they're moving to center too as a starter for their team too. People have to shift and move things around and be a very, versatile piece to this team. And right now, Zion is obviously, is he 2? Is he 1? I'm not sure, but people have said Bozeman pretty much might be the starter. So like to be able to see how your guys' thoughts are about Zion so far. So yes,
my other thought on that too is, what if Trey Pip ends up being the left guard? And I don't think that'll happen, right? But Zion is not a guard, and that's the argument, is he's a little small. He is built like a center, right? That's the argument. And the problem is he's also under center, right? So he's not snapping the ball in shotgun as often as he is under center. So I think that's where, unfortunately, he needs to be able to hike the ball the right way, right? And look, maybe Trey likes it differently than DJ Ungale and Herbert, right? So that's the other part of the conversation as well too. So yeah.
And Beef Teleboy, this is probably what needs to be done. Now, this was actually just an extra preseason game and a great way 100%. To get Zion a lot of reps. I mean, he only had 2 drives, I believe, is all he had anyways, but that's a sample size to work with. But Zion does need more reps. He should play every preseason game and gain some confidence. And I agree. And to go back to Harbaugh, he talked about, 8 to 10 practices, I'll have kind of an idea of who's going to be that starter. I mean, we're about 8 to 10 practices in at this point. I mean, at that point, if we say starters didn't play this game, well, Bozeman essentially the starter at this point. So I think it's going to be another week that they're going to kind of figure it out and see what Zion. I think one more preseason game will kind of dictate who's going to be the starter and who's not.
I agree. I think the other thing I would say is, why not let him play at least a couple of snaps every single game and just get more snaps? That's all it is. Yep. And it doesn't matter at this point, right? Bottom line, we need more depth there. We need a guy that can step in. Now, Andre James, I believe, played most of the game, if I remember correctly. He looked pretty good. I mean, he had no problems the whole second half. So the other thought is, well, maybe you just leave Bozeman at left guard and use Andre James instead of Zion Johnson. Woo! That would be a kick in the pills to Zion Johnson. Yep. But the problem is, he doesn't play the guard position well. He's a little undersized. He's a prototypical center, but he's got to figure out how to snap the ball. So anyways,
I will say if there's going to be a controversy to this, the right guard position was played by Jamari Sawyer in this line.
Yeah,
that's where a controversy could go there. He could easily flip him to the left if they wanted to put him in the left and say, Zion, sorry, my guy, you're going to the Saints or something like that. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I keep throwing out the Saints because they need a lot of help at this point. So, and the connection with Kellen Moore, BS, all that kind of stuff. So,
Kellen Moore, BS.
Kellen Moore, BS. Yeah, exactly. But we'll see. I think it's going to be another week that they'll figure this out. Obviously, you had one batch situation. By the way, I mean, Zion's got some guns there, by the way, too. So
he's huge.
He's a big dude. It just, he's getting thrown into a new position. He's got to figure it out. So, I loved the running backs. I felt like we ran the ball well. Amari and Hampton only had 2 runs. It's kind of a little bit of an iffy type hit where it kind of seemed a little low to his leg, but he had the ability to avoid it. And basically after that, he was put out of the game at that point. But you got to love what you see from these running backs. Vidal had a good run for what is close to 30 yards. I think it might have got pulled back. Haskins looked very physical all around too. Hines looked fine too. Patterson looked good. I mean, I think that's one thing that I think they really wanted to try to establish, the Greg Roman run game. And what did they do? They ended up getting a good amount of yards in this one. What was it? Over 125 yards, which is, I think, that's the one thing that 121 yards is exactly what they got. So good game.
I have to say something too about this. Whoever the new photographer is, doing such a better job. The other guy just sucked. I just feel like these angles are way better.
I think it's the same photographer. It's shot out once again. It's to Mike Nowak. He's been the guy the whole time. I don't know if the angles are different, but he's doing phenomenal with photography. So shout out to Mike. Good job, brother.
I know. I love it. I just think, like, again, I paint a little bit, so I kind of like the artistic side of things, and I just think these photos look so great. So I just really enjoyed these as well. So anyways, but look, Hampton looks great. Guys, we still got Najee Harris. I mean, I hope to God he comes back, and so we'll see what happens with that. But I'm just saying, guys, I mean, it just looks really good. Yeah. And again, it'd be interesting to see how bad the defense is going to be for the Saints. Look, the one thing I'll say, one last thing about the defense with BS and Jesse Minter, clearly there's a communication problem with BS compared to Jesse Minter. Jesse Minter makes it really simple. People can come in, be successful right out of the gate. And, Brandon Staley, he clearly didn't communicate well, or something happened there. So anyways,
I think it was the whole analogy of BS was trying to do a square peg in a round hole. And I think that's the one thing that he was missing a lot. And he was trying to force people to be who they weren't, maybe. And I think Jesse Minter does a great job of making sure people are using their strengths and taking advantage of those strengths and cover up the weaknesses. So I'm excited for what we're seeing from our 2s and 3s in this game. And it goes to show it is a very scheme-based defense that is a plug-and-play type defense where people can do extremely well all around. So I'm excited about it. But to just go back to our running backs, love to be able to see the running game. They looked great all around. I'm excited to see that. It's crazy. I didn't even think about Najee Harris at all. It just hasn't even been a thought in my mind because I haven't seen anything from Najee at all. But for what we have so far, it's great. And it's going to be exciting to see, I would assume, Raheem Sanders next week, too, for the next preseason game.
Yeah, I hope so.
Look good. So, KLS, you know what? I know it's just preseason. But he did line up a lot in X, too. He got that 28-yard catch. That was just phenomenal. It was a very, very pretty catch, this exact one. And then that slant route for a touchdown. I remember texting Andrew and Kyle at that same time. I said, he made that look easy. Like, he ate that dude up. And the separation that he got on that slant route was perfect. I swear, once again, that was that play where he's a man among boys at that point. And he just easy. That was so easy for him. So I did see him in the X a lot. I saw Trey a little bit in the X, but he looked great in this one, and love to see it. Love to see what we're seeing out of KLS. This could be one of the steals of the draft.
Yeah, one other thing I would say too about Carlos, Greg Roman did good play calling tonight. Hopefully it carries in the regular season. The one thing I will say is if you go back and look at the statistics, team stats, we had 121 rushing yards. And if you're not getting good rushing plays, they're not going to respect the deep pass, right? And you know, again, if they could just put a light box and you stop the run with four linemen, defensive linemen, then guess what? They can just put too high safety, and it's really hard to open up the passing game. So again, we're the number one play action running team in the NFL. If you're not running the ball well, you're not going to pass the ball well. So unfortunately, you kind of need both to be successful. And that's really where I think makes Greg Roman look good, but it makes Greg Roman look really bad if we're not running the ball well. So you kind of can't have one without the other. So anyways, that's just my one thought on Carlos's comment here.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see what Greg did. I think he did a good job. I mean, I think this is a great time to also just do the little things to make sure you get the little things right when it matters most. And I think they did a fantastic job in this game so far. So KLS looked great all around, and I do hope to see more from Trey Harris next week, seeing him getting more involved. But the battle for the X position is up for grabs, and you gotta love what you saw from KLS. You gotta love it. And it extinguished the guilt. I was just gonna come to this point. The McLaurin asking for a trade. I popped that onto our post in our YouTube channel. Hey, we got $32 million to spend. We could, and if you look and understand anything that happened with that the Rashawn Slater contract, there was a lot of money front loaded on that, where it was a very low cap hit this year.
Very much.
You can shift money around to make something like that happen. And a lot of people have pointed out, we got a lot of young guys in the wide receiver room, no vets. At this point, the vet is Quentin Johnston. McLaurin would be that vet guy if we really want to push it up one more notch. And you know what? If you kind of think about it like this, you sign McLaurin to say a 3-year extension, you have him for 3 more years. You have KLS that you got to deal with contracts. You got Trey Harris getting close to basically dealing with a contract. You could have a vet guy in there lead these rookies, teach them, make them better. This could be that move that could really elevate this wide receiver group even further and for the future.
Yeah. You know, and I wonder though, you know, the one caveat I would say is, man, I really think these young wide receivers are looking good enough that we don't need to spend that money. Hell, you could just roll that money over into next year, which, I mean, that's a lot of damn money, right? So I'm just saying, talk about using the money judiciously compared to Ron Tabasco. Gosh, I hated Telesco, man. I mean, at the very end there, he was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad he was gone. But my point is, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But look, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I kind of feel like Harbaugh probably thinks, you know what, we got a good group of guys right now. Let's just roll with them. Because we got a lot of wide receivers too, dude. You know, I mean, and I mean, even some of those backups that we have, Jalen Johnson was flashing like crazy last year in camp. And, you know, we'll have to see how that plays. So, yeah. That's a lot of sausage McMuffins.
It's a lot of
sausage McMuffins. Bert. Well said, Bert.
You could get a spicy sausage McMuffin these days too.
Yeah, extra spicy, dude. Oh boy. Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, I've always looked at it as you make bold moves when you want to be able to take big leaps. And I think if you go to that Terry McLaurin move, that's a bold move. Now you probably have to move one of the wide receivers. Would it be Quentin Johnston if you had to make that move, make that trade? Who knows? But
my argument in that though is I've always believed free agent pickups aren't usually the best because you're not in camp. You're not part of the conversation to begin with. And guess what? You bring a guy like that into camp, even like a Wilkins, right? Let's say you bring someone like that in. Let's say he takes a spot of somebody else that's really liked on the team. That could cause a cultural problem for the rest of the group, right? So Don't get me wrong. I get it. I understand the argument both ways. But when you think of it from a culture perspective, I think in the NFL, it's a little hard to make that work, right? If you haven't been in camp, you haven't been that guy there. And again, when a guy says, I want to be traded, he's got an attitude problem, And so that's where I start struggling with that person. And Wilkins, we already know, has an attitude problem. Kissing booth, all that other garbage, I mean, that's weird, dude. That's just straight up weird. That's like freak off type stuff, dude. I mean, come on now. But I'm just saying, I just that's where I struggle. Like, hey man, he hasn't been in camp. I just don't think it's worth it. But that's my take. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, I like our wide receivers are where they're at now. My concern, and just to say the last point on that, who's going to be the guy that can really show up when it's necessary? And that's one of the biggest faults was for the Texan game. Didn't have that guy outside of Ladd pretty much, and that was it. So young guys have to learn. And, it's tough to basically just be like that guy that could just step in and just be that man when it's necessary. So, we'll see. We'll see. To move on just to defense, Nico Reed. I mean, this guy's been making plays in camp. He went out there, batted a pass down, pass block, and then got a pick that was, I swear, pick six, dude. I jumped out of my couch when I saw that. It was phenomenal pick. And I mean, I read that sucker like a book, and I'm not a cornerback by any means. When I saw that and he jumped on it, I was like, oh, we're going house, baby. I yelled, house. I picked up the phone, house call. Here we go. We out. It was a great pick. And honestly, Reed the Robber. That's what we're going to call him from now on. Robble. Hamburglar, pick burglar. I don't know. What do we call him? I don't know.
But pick burglar.
Pick burglar. Nico Reed. He's making moves, man. I mean, you got to think about that cornerback room. Just Sir Taylor's out there. You got Dean Leonard. You got to think of those back end guys. We haven't even had Dante Jackson out there. Benjamin St. Juice. Yes. You don't even have Tarheeb still out there. Cam Hart. Cornerbacks are needed, right? And that's one thing that Nico Reed is really putting a stamp on, potentially finding his way on this team.
Yeah, I was listening to somebody talk about the Chargers. I think I maybe sent it over to you, but they said our best asset for this team is our backfield, right? Our corners and our safeties. They said, underrated safety room. Obviously, Derwin James is 54th in the NFL player wise. And I just, look, I really truly believe we're going to be fine in that regard. I mean, we're going to play good coverage. Again, we play quarters. That's what we play. We play zone. We played zone more than anybody in the NFL. Secondarily, we played zone well. There's a difference between playing zone and executing zone. If you noticed, they were crashing down the entire time. It was always crash down, crash down, crash down. I don't know if they just knew they weren't throwing the ball deep or what, but man, they could not. It was crazy, dude. I was shocked at how, we were just playing so aggressive down. I was blown away. So, anyways, Aether's here. We kept the line in the cage. That's right, man. They couldn't roar. I mean, I'm telling you, man. It's going to be tough to see what happens with this team. We're going to lose some good players, but unfortunately, you can't keep them all. That's the truth. So we'll see what happens.
And to your point about the cornerback room, I kind of felt like going into this year, I think there's a great chance we're going to have a lot of turnovers on this defense. And why do I say that? Because Dante Jackson's a turnover kind of guy. Tarheeb still showed that a lot last year. Cam Hart even got a couple picks when we were at camp too. And then, you got a Nico Reed out there. You hear about Jasir Taylor and kind of where he's kind of hanging in that leap. And he actually had a lot of starts at the left cornerback position since Tarheeb still wasn't in there, or Dante Jackson or Benjamin St. Juice. If our D-line could create chaos, our cornerbacks are going to create chaos too.
100%.
And it's going to be a very, very turnover-heavy defense. So I loved what we saw. We had 5 turnovers in this, 2 on special teams, which is an anomaly, but it's great to see. But getting 3 picks on defense is great. And just to even jump to the next slide on that too, you even have our boy. Here you go. I'll just throw it out there because it's our last slide. We had Unk even get a pick too, with Williamson on coverage on that one too. He did a great job holding back on the wide receiver, putting him out of play. and allowing Unk to go out there and make things happen. So Tony Jefferson, the vet backfield, he's making things happen still too. So I think this is going to be an extremely fun defense too, all around, especially on the turnover game. I think it's going to be a huge, huge increase of turnovers this year.
Yeah, and I'll just add this one thing too. It was never about the defense. I was never worried about the defense. I was worried about the offense, right? And the nice thing is we got better on offense across the board. Every single position got better. And so, the line is better. The running game is going to be much better. Our tight end room is better. Our wide receiver room is better. Our running back room is better. You know what I'm saying? So Herbert's got weapons. And this is why I say it's on Herbert now, man. You no more excuses for Herbert at this point, right? He's got to win. So, but guys, I mean, it's great. 1 sack this entire game, and it's exciting.
I'll take over turnovers or sacks all day. Turnovers and drives. Sacks just basically allow you to. We could end a drive, obviously, on a 4th down sack, but I always feel like interceptions, and we've ended 3 drives essentially with interceptions. I'll take that all day. If you end 3 drives through picks, you should win that game for sure. So
100%.
Very, very good to see, man. But I'm excited about the defense. I will also say one thing too, and I didn't add a slide on this, but Kyle Kennard had, and I was watching a lot of his play. There was one play where he basically got clipped at the line, kind of thrown on the ground, and then he got up and ran over, and I think it might have been from Reynolds getting a short pass, and it could have easily been another 10, 15, possibly to the house. Kyle Kennard came running over and got the tackle. And I just wanted to see this guy, rookie, that probably is going to be like the 4th defensive edge guy. I want to see his effort, and he showed effort in this one. So shout out to Kyle Kennard. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Bosa in that sense of where, hey, I'm out of the play, but I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to show a high effort, high motor. I'm going to go back out there and try to make a play, and he got very involved.
Funny thing about that whole Bosa conversation is you realize how big Bosa is when you see Kyle Kennard and these other guys. You're like, man, Bosa is huge, and Khalil Mack is huge, right? So, look, Kyle Kennard's a little undersized for what he needs to do, but the big thing is that he needs to, again, set the edge as well too, right? Yep. And then secondarily get to the quarterback, right? Well, not secondarily, both are equally as important, right? But my point is he does look a little smaller compared to some of the, obviously Bosa's or Khalil Mack's, and I think that's why those guys are also out there as well. But anyways, I'm just saying, I don't worry about our defense. I think our offense is going to be solid, and we saw a lot of good things from the offense. So,
yeah, it was a good first preseason game, and there's a lot to really come out of this one that you could say, hey, look, great things have happened with this team. I think off-season wise, they've done a great job of adding a lot of talent in this team. The rookies are looking good so far. It's honestly, that was essentially a free game for the Chargers to look at their talent and see what they are looking like. It was a good one. It was an absolute straight up beatdown. Now, preseason it is, but it is what it is. I'll take it all day just to start out the season on a high note in the preseason.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'll just say this. I'll give you my final thoughts. And guys, amazing start. At the end of the day, preseason, guys, don't walk around and say, oh, Chargers going to win a Super Bowl this year. The last time we played in a Hall of Fame game is when we went to the Super Bowl, guys. So maybe that's a good omen. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But it just shows to me that we have depth. That's all I wanted to see is depth. And we have depth. Thankfully, it's there. The rookies look good. And I said this over and over again at the beginning of the season, is that we have to make sure that our team has depth behind our starters. I think that's really what happened at the end of the year last year, too. I think we had some injuries. The ball went to Ladd McConkey. That was it. He was the only guy out there that could catch a ball. And I'm telling you right now, at least we got a lot of wide receivers that went through the ball to that seem like they can step up and make some plays. And I just think overall our team is just much better. We have the depth we need to go deep in the playoffs and have a good season. So I'm excited about that. That's what I wanted to see. We saw it. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Love it. Love it. I think I gave you my final thoughts even previously before yours, but I think, hey, it was a good game. Love to see it. Love to see the next one. I'm excited to basically get out of that one and, see some good positive stuff there too. But they still got 3 more games to work through and try to figure out who's the best players on this team. So yeah, I'm excited about it too, and just see how these players progress.
You guys are funny, man. Well, guys, going to have plenty of content coming your way. Thanks for joining. We're the Bolt Bros. I guess we'll see you guys in the next one.
That's right, my guys. Bolt Bros.
Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night.